suspense. He said, well, you should have given me the privilege information. I said, no, there's no privilege information until this evening. We're going to talk about something that is, I don't know why, but since we started planning for the convention, this topic's been coming to my mind. And I know you might smile this evening and think, what's the relevance of this? But by the end, I think somebody will be blessed by this. Because this problem is on the rise now. And this is what I do. This is one of the aspects of my work that I have to deal with on a daily basis. And I hope it will bless you. We're talking about constipation this evening. Constipation is brightly defined about a bowel movement dysfunction that makes stool infrequent or hard to pass. The stool is often hard and dry. The normal frequency of bowel movements in adults is between 3 times per day or 3 times per week. Babies have 3 to 4 times per day, while young children should have 2 or 3 times per day. And I know that for those of us who have nursed children in the past, the moment they eat, they go to toilet. So how come we now become adults and we can't, some people that I've seen have been in 2 weeks? It's just because of our bad habits. You know, our bad habits and the fact that there's a valve between our small intestine and large intestine called the ileocecal valve. When we've eaten and we've absorbed in the small intestine, this valve is supposed to open up for waste to go into the large intestine to be excreted via the rectum. But unfortunately, due to our bad eating habits and bad toileting habits, we compromise this valve. And so we end up, as we grow older, becoming not able to pass bowel motion immediately after eating, because that's what God created. That's what the ideal is. What are the symptoms of constipation? Straining with bowel movements. Hear people straining, actually straining and sweating. Excess time needed to pass stool. People with good bowel habits will go in and deposit, and within minutes they are out with ease. But you see some people, they are there 1 hour and they are struggling. They also have hard stools. Then they also have pain with bowel movements secondary to straining. Normally, when we want to go to pass stool, we shouldn't be having any abdominal cramps at all. If we do, it's not a good sign and we have to work on it. We should feel the urge to go, but not abdominal cramp. It is abnormal. And also, they also have abdominal pain because of the fact that they've been loaded and this waste is there and irritating the bowels. What are some of the causes of constipation? There might be underlying diseases. Diabetes, because the diabetes not only destroys the nerves on the body, but it can destroy the nerves in the bowel as well. So obviously, because of the death of these nerves, some people have a condition called achalasia. When I was doing research and we take a look into the stomach, their stomach looks like, they call it watermelon stomach. The nerves are damaged and they cannot digest food. Or you go there, it looks like a sockaway because all the foods are like all chewed up, but they are not moving because the nerves is damaged. So therefore, food cannot pass normally through the intestine. Hypothyroidism. You know our thyroid do control our metabolism. Lower thyroxine obviously will hamper our metabolism. Parkinson, which is an excess production, I think, of dopamine in our body. You get frigid, of course, your intestines will get stiffened up. Celiac disease, those are people who have problems with digesting gluten. And you don't know, you are itchy, you don't pay attention, you're still eating gluten, you're still eating bread, and of course, you get constipated because the gluten cannot be digested. Vitamin B12 deficiency, of course, when common in those of our brethren who do not eat meat or fish, and who obviously they are vegans or vegetarians, and they do not balance their diet as well. So they have the B deficiency, which is mostly synthesized in the small intestine. Colon cancer. course, when we have colon cancer, we have a tumor obstructing the way, so bowel motion cannot move through the intestine. Spinal cord lesions because of nerve damage, because of spinal cord being compromised, we cannot go. We have hypocalcemia, that is low calcium. We have hyperkalemia because we are chemically made up as well. So because of this low potassium, low calcium, there's no transmission, there's no electrical impulses to actually make the intestine to move in a wave life and propel bowel motion forward. We have muscular dystrophy where somebody's muscles is not functioning properly. We have diverticulitis, which are pockets of extension and inflammation in the bowel that obviously can lead to some serious diseases. And we have people with inflammatory bowel diseases. Inflammatory bowel disease consists of Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, and all those things that we have. But I want to sound a note. Constipation is more concerning when there's weight loss, anemia, that is low hemoglobin, bowel, blood in stool, and a family history of inflammatory bowel disease or colon cancer, especially if constipation is a new onset in someone who's older. If you have any of these symptoms, you need to get yourself checked up. I'm not saying totally it can be colon cancer, but it might be something else. You know, we found out people with inflammatory bowel disease, if they are not taken carefully, like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, some do go on to have tumors. Yeah. What are some of the causes? Causes number 2, drugs. We have opioids, like we go to hospital, we have pains, and they give us morphine, they give us tramadol. All those painkillers do make your bowel, they virtually paralyze your intestine, and then you become bunged up. 90% of people who use opioids, like morphine and heroin or omnipron or tramadol or whatever, any painkiller, do have constipation. Certain antacids, and I just want to sound a note of warning. You have indigestion, you pick up an off the whatever counter drug, and it relieves your heartburn or it relieves your digestion. Be very careful not to get used to them, because some of them do constipate you, because all they do is that they stop the production of hydrochloric acid in your tummy. Obviously, that's what's making you feel uncomfortable, and then therefore digestion is not taking place properly. Calcium channel blockers. That's calcium channel blocker is a group of antihypertensive like nifedipine, like verapamil, like amlodipine. They do constipate as well. Anticholinergics, which are muscle relaxants, like scopolamine. We use them in induction during surgery. We have diazepam, midazolam, all those things that are sedatives. They do cause constipation as well. Some psychological causes. You have some individuals that voluntarily withhold stool. It is a common cause of constipation. The behavior can be due to fear of pain. They can be due to fear of public restrooms. They can be due to laziness. You know, some of our kids, they are playing until they are like almost going. They don't want to go because they are distracted, Mechanical causes. Previous surgery, might be previous cesarean section or whatever, and you might have formed some adhesions. Adhesions are like the intestine is healing, but it's all joined together because of scar tissue. Sphincter damage, probably due to previous surgery. Some of the surgeries we do, they would warn them that your back passing muscle might be damaged. And some of our, should I say, brothers and sisters who have anal sex do have sphincter damage. We've had to work with some in the east end of London since some years ago. And some of our young people too, I must say, who do not want to get pregnant, and they have anal sex and sphincter damage, and it makes them incontinent. Sorry I have to say that, but it's just a warning for our young people to be very, very careful. Don't do what God has asked you not to do. Childbirth, women, you know that the baby is lying on all these muscles. The bigger they are, the more they loosen the muscles. And at times, even when we are pushing in the labor room, things do come out that shouldn't come out. God bless mothers. And extra intestinal mass, such as malignancies. I've seen people with ovarian cancer. The tumor puts pressure on the intestine, and things are not flowing the way it's supposed to flow. Another thing is lifestyle causes. Low intake of fluids. Some of us don't drink water. How many people have drank water today? By now, you should have clocked like at least 1,500 mils. Yes, many of us do not drink water. Low intake of fluids, low fiber diets. We are not eating enough fiber. That's the problem. All the things we are eating are processed food. We need to be careful. Anything that is not naturally produced, like we plant, we harvest and eat, will constipate you. When I say things here, go and check and confirm. Sedentary lifestyle. Again, exercise is rearing its head again. And I said yesterday, the greatest killer of our day is immobility. We have some elderly people who are probably mobile restricted. They bring them to hospital with constipation. It is bad because they are not moving around. Incorrect positioning. Incorrect positioning is something that we've just discovered during the course of my work some years back. A 17-year-old was brought to the clinic with chronic constipation. Chronic means like she's had it. It's not like acute or one-off. She's had it all her life. And we've done everything. We've done counseling, we've done laxatives, we've done everything. It's not working. Just out of the fact that I know that positioning do affect opening. I called her. I said, what position do you take when you want to go to toilet? This girl sits like she's having yoga on the WC. You see those pit latrines that we were brought up with, where we stoop. Science has actually proven that that is the correct way to be when you want to go to toilet, because it helps your let down reflex to make bowel motion go. We call it shalanga. We think people in Africa and in the third world country are backward, but science has actually proven that that is the best position to adopt when you want to go to toilet. How do you adapt that in the Western world where you have WC? You put your legs on a stool. Yeah, make sure the stool is very high. You sit on your WC and put your leg on the stool so that your knee is almost on your chest or below your breast. And it does help. And after we finished counseling this girl, and she stopped sitting like she's crossing her legs on the WC, we had victory. It was resolved. Honestly, it was resolved. We also have causes of constipation in different age groups. In postpartum women, constipation can be due to damage to the pelvic floor muscles during childbirth, forceps delivery. You know what forceps delivery is? Lengthy second stage of labor, delivering a large child. You have episiotomy where they cut you. You have perineal tear where you rip apart, and they have to stitch back, and that place becomes scar, and there's no flexibility of the muscle again, because once you cut a muscle, it becomes, and you have to stitch back, it loses its elasticity and it can't stretch. And also withholding stool to avoid pain. When you've had episiotomy, when to even wee is a problem. And so people tend to hold back, In men, constipation can be due to previous pelvic surgery, prostate cancer, previous pelvic diseases, radiotherapy, due to probably tumor cells in the pelvic floor, can cause constipation. In babies, constipation can be due to what we call Hirschsprung disease, a condition in which bowel motion is stuck to the intestine and refuses to come out. And that's why you see the midwife when you've just had a baby. They open the nappy. Has she passed bowel motion? Because when a baby has not passed bowel motion for 48 hours post-delivery, we begin to suspect. In children, constipation can be due to lifestyle changes like toilet training, starting or transferring to a new school, changing in diet, infant changing from breast milk to formula. We know, and that's why it's good. Don't give them formula, give them your own food. Because you don't know, formula can be whatever. You breastfeed them, and when you wean them, you start your own food with breast milk. That is the ideal. That's what the World Health Organization recommended. But Western lifestyle, we can't do it. Toilet training, and for mothers who have toddlers, when your children are toilet trained, we always get frustrated and we shout at them. Oh, you've missed the potty. Oh, you've weed on yourself again. Psychologically, these do affect the children at times. Because each time you shout at them when they mess up, psychologically, they start withholding their bowel motion, they don't want to pee, and you know, our mind is very strong. Some people can withhold, can stop. They decide not to wee because of that reprimanding. So we need to be very, very careful how we tell of our children when we're potty training them, when they miss or they wet themselves. You know, it does have adverse effect on them. What are effects of the constipation on the body? Abdominal pain. I've seen people who come with severe abdominal pain, and all you do is inspect and massage the abdomen, and they are running to the toilets. Bloating, headaches because you are holding toxins, irritability is common in children and adults, elderly, restlessness, sleeplessness, confusion in the elderly. Diagnosis. We diagnose constipation probably by abdominal and rectal examination. You do rectal examination, you put your gloves on, have a look. Obviously, if they are constipated, you feel feces at the bottom end. When you do abdominal examination, you palpate, you feel there's a mass. Sometimes the mass might not be due to growth, it might be because of the person is fecally loaded. That's what we say. We do blood tests as well to check for potassium, to check for calcium. You know, we do abdominal X-ray to actually see. I don't have any anonymized one, but you could see from the abdominal X-ray that from the top to the bottom that they are fecally loaded. And in case there's no other specific obstruction or growth, we give them enemas, and you'll be surprised what comes out. We also do colonoscopy when we've discovered that there's nothing wrong, or we want to have a look. Do they have any abdominal diseases that we need to treat? You know, we do anorectal manometry, that is, we measure the anus to make sure that the orifice there is large enough, you know, to allow proper bowel motion, and we do sphincter electromyography to make sure that the back passage muscles are actually functioning. They are responding to impulses from the top. Treatment depends on what causes constipation. We have fiber supplements that has its own side effect. We cancel, we use laxatives, we use enemas. At times we use physical intervention, wherein we glove up, we manually go in through the rectum, and we evacuate manually the fecal load. And also we can use surgical interventions. These are some of the treatments. Now, what are some of the fruits and vegetables that help with constipation? Apart from medication, working with a gastroenterologist for the past 9 years, there are some specific fruits that when you take them in the absence of any of these other causative agents, which if it's due to lifestyle or diets, they do help. Beans, oats, wholemeal, seeded brown bread, water is considered food, and so we should do plenty of it. Nuts, seeds, lean seeds, melon seeds they are wow. Kiwi, 2 kiwis a day, you won't miss it. Mango is high in fiber. Pineapple, kiwi and pineapple actually are not only quite good and loaded in fiber, they have enzymes that help the digestive system and thus repair the digestive system. Pear, ginger, cucumber, apple, carrots, banana, berries, acai, raspberry, strawberry, they are quite good, especially the blueberries. They are quite good for constipation. Try them and you won't get it wrong. Thank you. This is the end of the health presentation for the 13th Annual Believers Convention. I want to thank God for giving us the privilege to listen to this. And I want him to take all the glory. God bless you.